let's say, for example, Drew goes to the mall, right? The mall finally opens up. Drew goes to the mall and he sees a cute girl and he wants to walk up to her and just start talking to her. He's gonna have to be at least 6 feet away. So that's gonna be a loud conversation, right? Everybody's gonna hear you spitting your game. They're gonna they're gonna they're gonna see you doing your thing, but then like you won't be able to like swap phones. You're gonna be hesitant and be like, yo, let me get your number, or you know stuff like that. Like, it kind of changes the dynamic of how you initially start a relationship. So how do you guys see a way around that, if there is one?
For now,
Hmm.
I think when you talking to a shorty, you need her phone number and her medical records. Off books, man. First thing you need. You feel me?
Switch.
So there was a documentary that came out about Michael Jordan. It's called The Last Dance. And essentially it talks about Michael Jordan's career throughout basketball, his time with the Bulls. And so it talks about his life and his journey. And he became an icon in the sport of basketball. And you can't really do that without winning, essentially. I mean, if you look at Brady, the sport of football, he's a big icon in football. Why? Because he won so many Super Bowls. So, with that in mind, how much is too much at the cost of winning?
Mm. See, with Jordan, I mean, I think that's just a trade-off you got to understand when people trying to pursue something. You know what I mean? You can't keep doing the same things you've been doing because you're going to keep getting the same things you've been getting. And so sometimes people don't understand that it's a price to be, successful. You know what I mean? You're going to change up your lingo. You're going to change up the stuff you ain't going to be on the block anymore. You're going to be hustling. And I think that that's something that people don't understand. Like, if you look at like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, these were like the top athletes of their time, but they probably missed a lot of recitals. They probably missed some family things. They probably weren't always the most pleasant people to be around because they wanted it that bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's something that I've tried to adopt this brand and this movement is just, if you're not really willing to die behind this idea or what you're trying to go for in life, what you doing it for? You know what I mean? And that's the mindset that MJ and Kobe had, like, every day. It's just like, if you're not trying to win a championship every season, why are you here? You feel me? If you're here just to get a check, that's cool too. But at the same time, don't put on a Laker jersey or a Chicago Bulls jersey if you're not trying to win a ship.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think, Drew?
Yeah, I feel like he wanted to win like at any cost. He saw how like in his beginning years he was losing. He basically, the Bulls before he got there, they were basically like on the downhill. Like nobody really even knew about them. The only championships they had was because of Michael. So he was able to turn the franchise around. But in turning the franchise around, you need that hard work and dedication. It's like in order to be regarded as he is right now as the greatest of all time, you had to have that winning mentality and win at any cost. So I feel like his competitive spirit his like willingness to give it his all. You can really tell, like even the documentary, like he's crying, talking about his mentality and all the hard work he put in, how people sometimes might not get why he gave it his all, but like in order to get the end result is being regarded as the goal, like being able to win any cost. So I feel like he's definitely misunderstood, but I feel like now this documentary is giving us like an insight to his mind, an insight to his winning mentality, and like how much work and dedication he put into it, which is something that we can all influence in our lives.
Yeah. So one thing that both of you guys brought up was the point that you can't have winning without sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel like, in what experience have you guys went through where in order to come through and overcome something, you had to sacrifice something?
Even with this movement, I think I sacrificed a lot. You know what I mean? Probably all of us, time with people and just, I think sometimes when you're trying to pursue something, you don't realize that you're going to be in creative mode. So you're not really going to be in reality. You know what I mean? You're going to wake up every day, eat, and it's back to your brain. You're not going to have time for friends. You're not going to have time, to do the typical things you're doing. And that's why I think that's what Nick was saying off Perfect 10 with that DJ Mustard album. He was saying, like, if you're really not trying to die behind your idea, what you doing it for? I think that's something that you got to sacrifice. You sacrifice time, relationships, not being on the scene like that. We be hustling behind closed doors. And I just think that that's something that people got to realize, that price on the I probably didn't account for when starting this brand, is just the time that, like, you really can't, you really ain't going to be on the scene. You really got to be hustling. You really got to be focused on what you're trying to do. What you think, Drew?
Yeah, definitely sacrifice comes with a lot of things. Definitely with what we're doing, we have to set out time basically every day to like figure stuff out, whether it's planning, recording an episode, doing stuff like that. I feel like we have sacrificed like in almost everything we do, even like with school. If you have a project due the next day and like your friends want you to hang out, you have to sacrifice that time with your friends to focus on that. Even with like other jobs, you might have to sacrifice those like long hours, like not be able to go to different family events. We have to still bring food to the table, money to the family. So there's sacrifice that comes with a lot of things. I feel like it's something that we know we have to do, but like it comes in different forms. It's really just how much effort you're willing to put in the work to achieve that sacrifice and achieve those goals.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I mean, I could definitely recall a couple times where I had to get some work done, and as a result, I couldn't go out that night, or I missed out on a moment that you just won't get back. And that's, I guess, that's just a part of life, and you got to appreciate the moments that you have experienced, and not think about the ones that you missed, because if you just keep thinking about that, you're not going to get anywhere. If you had to play with somebody on your team, your basketball team, you had to pick between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, who would you pick and why?
That's a difficult question. They're basically they have like the same mentality, almost the same exact player.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I feel like, I guess Michael Jordan, he's probably like a little more intense.
Mm-hmm.
With Kobe, you still have that working like Mamba mentality of just never giving up and stuff like that. But if I had to choose one, probably Michael, since he's regarded as the GOAT, and just the basis of Kobe was through Michael. And like as we're seeing through the documentary, now we see how close they really were. So a lot of the stuff that Kobe got was from Michael. So I feel like having Michael as a teammate, even though it might be like a little rough at times, you might get into some confrontations, you might get into some fights. I feel like he'll still be able, if you're his teammate, he's going to look to you to help carry through with the team. So I feel like he's definitely going to play a big part in like helping you achieve your goals. I feel like I would have to go with Michael.
I'm going to go with Kobe and Michael. I think I'm going to do Jordan, because I think just for me and how I am and my mindset is, I want to work with somebody that every day is going to give me 110%. And I know that anytime I go on the court with Mike, bro, he's ready to hoop. You know what I mean? He makes my job a lot easier. So I'd probably say MJ, because he's going to push you. And that's something that I think you probably said in like the very first episode. It's about how if somebody really care about you and really, want you to succeed, you naturally not going to like their energy. You naturally not going to like them every day, because they pushing you for something greater. And at the same time, he got the stats to prove it too. I mean, he ain't just yelling at people, you know, and he ain't got the facts to prove it. He got the skill to prove it. So I'll probably say, my question to y'all is, name me one athlete that y'all, even if it's in football, basketball, soccer, any sport, that y'all would love to play with and why. That's probably a better question.
Just a athlete, right?
Yeah, any athlete or any coach that you would want to be coached after, or anybody.
Terms of athlete, probably LeBron, because he has the leadership and winning mentality as well. Might not be as big as a Michael Jordan or Kobe, but he's more about the team aspect. So he wants everybody to get involved. He wants someone to get, like, for example, if he had like 20 points, he wants another person to get 20, another person to get 15, and still be involved in the offense. And he's looking for other people. So I feel like his pass first team mentality, I feel like is great in sports just to get everybody involved. So I feel like definitely LeBron as an athlete I would want to play with.
Yeah. So for me, my go-to sport has always been soccer. I grew up playing it, so my dream player to play with, or just to, like, if he took me under his wing, that'd be dope. It'd be Ronaldinho. I mean, yeah, bro, that's the dude right there. He really brought sportsmanship to soccer more than anything. He always he always was for playing soccer at its best, and that it wasn't a sport that needed to get violent in any way. I mean, the fans don't need to get violent when one team loses to another team, even if they are rivals. I mean, he was always about unity and playing just playing great soccer. That was his whole thing, just playing great soccer, showing respect to everybody on the field and off the field. And yeah.
So when this is all over, y'all gonna still be playing sports now, like going back to like the regular activity, or y'all gonna be playing basketball social distance?
It's gonna have to start out social distancing, because if you think about like stuff like basketball, you're all sharing the same basketball. If you play in the scrimmage, there's a lot of like close contact. So I feel like depending on how everything is and how like the numbers are in terms of like cases, I feel like it'll eventually take some time. Like especially like definitely not this summer. Like even if things open up, I will not see me on any court playing any pickup. Definitely be playing outside by myself in the backyard, just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with Drew on that one. I don't really know about any team sports. I don't know where everybody's been. I'm not trying to get nothing. I'm not trying to bring it back to my family. So I think I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna play. Catch with myself outside, or yeah. I'm gonna stick to myself this summer. I'm gonna try and just stay safe. That's it.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, me, I'm retired, bro. I'm retired. After that, I didn't probably play basketball since that documentary, and I probably retired my boots. You know what I mean? I'm tired of giving y'all L's. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna hang my jersey in the rafters now, because it's getting dangerous, bro. Yeah. But what's the first place y'all gonna go when this is over? The first place.
For me, it'll be Chick-fil-A for sure. Because I've been craving Chick-fil-A. There's none near me. It's like an hour and a half away. So I'm definitely going to go there. And I'm going to treat myself too.
What you finna get?
I'm going to get myself that spicy chicken sandwich.
Delectable.
Yo, I'm getting 2 of those. Yo.
I feel that. What about you, Drew?
It's kind of a hard question. There's a lot of places, but I guess maybe like the mall, just to hang out, see like what's in the stores, stuff like that. Go shopping, maybe. Not spend too much, but just do that just to see the scenery and stuff like that. Either that, or maybe just like even like going to like a park or something like that, just to like look outside, just be outside a little more, since we've been inside like the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, I'm probably going. Where I'm gonna go? I'm probably gonna go to the corner store. So like, they got this kale spot around my way. I'm gonna get a Philly cheesesteak sandwich with the large fry with the mumbo sauce. That's what I'm finna do.
Sounds good. But speaking of social distancing, so I guess if you think about relationships and like how they're initially started, I mean, any relationship at all, whether it's a friendship or an intimate relationship, it usually starts when you're in a social gathering. So the fact that we can't really do social gatherings, that kind of changes the dynamic of relationships and how they start. I mean, you have the relationships that you already started prior to quarantine, and the new ones that you start post quarantine is going to be a little different because you're always going to have that fear in the back of your head, like you don't want to get too close just because you don't know. It's really a kind of like life or death, really, if you think about it. So it kind of changes the dynamic of flirting. So like if you see a, so let's say for example, Drew goes to the mall, right? The mall finally opens up. Drew goes to the mall and he sees a cute girl and he wants to walk up to her and just start talking to her. He's gonna have to be at least 6 feet away. So that's gonna be a loud conversation, right? Everybody's gonna hear you spitting your game. They're gonna they're gonna see you doing your thing, but then like you won't be able to like swap phones. You're gonna be hesitant and be like, "Yo, let me get your number," or you know stuff like that. Like it kind of changes the dynamic of how you initially start a relationship. So how do you guys see a way around that, if there is one?
For now,
Mhm.
I think when you talking to a shorty, you need her phone number and her medical records. Off books, bro. First thing you need. You feel me? But
Mhm.
now, I think it definitely changed the game as far as just how you finna mac and how you finna, lay your rap down. Here's a question: do you think
Mhm.
your standards as far as the people you surround yourself with has changed since this has happened?
Um,
Like, are you
for
more
me,
careful about the people you surround yourself with?
well, I mean, in the literal sense, of course, we're not gathered with anybody right now, but um, I'm I'm sticking to what I know. I mean, I know the people that I've been talking to, that I've been communicating with. I know I've known who they are and what kind of person they are prior to quarantine. So I'm going to stick to what I know for right now, and then once hopefully the situation changes sooner than later, and then maybe I'll start changing that. But I'm sticking to what I know.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Uh,
Drew.
Yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, sticking to the people you know, and like I've been like in the house. I've not left the house since like the start of quarantine. So
Mhm.
definitely like once things start to ease back and we're able to like be in like a regular setting, like easing in, maybe not hanging out with as many people, but still like first just getting reacquainted with the people that you've been known to like have been like surrounded with. So definitely starting off slow, but then like eventually like get back to normal.
Yeah.
for that.
What about you?
Uh, you really know, I be in my own world. So I don't really be too saying like that. But I think definitely just as far as just making sure you keep, because like for me, just reading the news, like how many people don't wash their hands. Like, I didn't realize it was that big. Like
Mm-hmm.
how much people don't really don't wash their hands. Like I was watching this show, and like people were saying like they don't even wash their hands after they go to the bathroom, depending if they're in the house or not. And it's just like I'm definitely gonna have the sanitizer on deck at all times. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
that's
I
gonna
don't
be a
know
fun
about
time.
handshaking anymore, like
Oh
dapping up or
nah, bro, we gotta we gotta
Yeah.
nah, but we can't we
yeah.
can't dap up no more, bro. You know what I mean? But I think with anything we're gonna come back stronger as far as like, I don't wanna say I'm glad this happened, but I think that just looking on the bright side, I think people are gonna take their cleanliness, their health more serious. They're gonna start moving right. They're gonna start, realizing that life is short and they're gonna start hustling. So I think that's probably the best outcome if you really want to look at the bright side of the situation.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. For sure. That I feel like the fact that or I don't know about everybody, but I know that you're most likely trapped inside with somebody, whether it be a friend or a family or just a roommate that you don't really ever spend time with. So you get to know a lot more. You're learning more things about people than you ever would in this case. So like I've learned a couple new things about the people I'm with right now. I'm with my family and my sister. I mean, you know, she's older than me, so it's like I don't really see her that much anyway. But now that we're here, I mean, I get to talk to her more than I usually would. I see her in person. It's nice, and it also it kind of tests the limits of like a relationship in some senses. Like it really does. It could really either tear a family apart or bring them together. You know, going through more experiences and difficult times. Specifically, I would say this is a difficult time for a lot of people. And so yeah, so it kind of strengthens or destroys any bonds, and that does have its toll on mental health. So, how do you think mental health has taken a bit due to social distancing?
I feel like it's definitely people have probably had more mental health issues during this time because a lot of times some people might have their vents or like they're able to escape by like just being outside or maybe like taking a drive or going somewhere like hanging out with people. So not
Mhm.
having that physical like one-on-one or like friend contact where like you're physically with them in the same like room or presence, I feel like that's definitely hurt people, especially if they have any mental health issues. But I feel like it's also a way where you kind of learn more about yourself and
Mhm.
also learn like new ways to deal with mental health, maybe like if it's meditating, like starting out like do calls with people. So I feel like it's
Mhm.
definitely taking a hit. But I feel like it's a way to kind of learn more about yourself and kind of figure out different ways to help with mental health.
Mhm.
Mental health. I mean, I think you should take your mental health game seriously, not just during an epidemic like this. You know, but I definitely think it allows people to like put the pause button on their life and kind of re-examine just the energy they put out. You know, I think a lot of times with like social media or just certain things, we can get too unfocused by things that necessarily don't matter. So I think now everybody's looking at their reality, looking at their situation, things they can do to elevate themselves, things that, you know, they should work on about themselves or just, you know, I think it's not to be long winded, but I think mental health is something that's overlooked in our society. And I think that that's some people that really need to take like serious because I think that, you know, anxiety, bipolar, depression, all that's a real thing and that really can affect your life.
Yeah.
So my question for y'all is, have y'all ever experienced any sense of like depression, anxiety, since, you know, or even ever in life?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, who does that? I get stressed out all the time. You know, schoolwork, this specifically, like just like the fear of, you know, spreading something to the people that I love or just to other people in general. I mean, the, it's definitely, it definitely takes a toll on you. And, I don't know, it doesn't let you experience the joys in life that you usually would have, like going to see a friend, you know, like a longtime friend. I mean, maybe he lives a block down, but you don't even want to risk going over there. You know, like that's a joy that's taken away from you. Why? Just because of the virus. Like it definitely has taken its toll on people. That's just one example for me, at least. But I also feel like Twitter has really upped its game right now. Like there's never been a time where the world needed Twitter more than right now, I think. Because I feel like it's a good outlet for people to express their thoughts, and then they could see that other people are feeling exactly like them, so they're not alone. I mean, you got to think about the part of the reason why people commit suicide is because they feel alone. Like they feel like there isn't anybody out there that feels or is going through similar things to them. They feel like there isn't another way out. But everybody's going through this right now. And one way that people are being vocal about it is through Twitter. I mean, Twitter has always been a place where people speak their mind or whatever. And in this case, I mean, there's been a lot of tweets going out, and a lot of people are going through the same thing, and they're realizing that. So, like, I don't know what the stats is for the suicide rate. I don't know if it's gone up or down. I don't know if there's a correlation with that, but I do know that Twitter definitely has. I think right now it's kind of had its moment to shine right now. Yeah.
Mhm. I
Mm-hmm.
guess in terms like the first part about like stress and anxiety, definitely experienced that like whether it be through schoolwork or just life in general. But it hasn't been like too bad, just the regular stress about stuff like that. But like during this time, I've really just really appreciated spending time with family. Like me and my family were usually pretty close, so I was getting like extra time just to really be with them and just be with their presence. So it's been, I guess you could say, not really in the same way like a blessing in disguise, but like you get time with your family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but now like it's especially time more to just spend with them, especially during the pandemic, just being close together. I feel like definitely like social media, like Twitter, Instagram has definitely been a way people have been distracted from like the world. So whether it be like IG lives, like Tory Lane's, or Twitter, who's trending this day or who's trending the next day, has been a good event for people just to have an escape and have a distraction from what's going on in the world today.
The topic that I want to bring up is something that came up in the news. Now, although this isn't recent news, this happened a while ago, but it's just now getting more attention. That I feel like it should have gotten more attention in the first place, but it didn't. And that is the case of Ahmaud Arbery.
Mm-hmm.
So, Drubisky, if you can do us a favor, just tell us a little bit about the case for the fans that don't know what the case is about.
Yeah, so this incident happened, I think it was back in late February. So there's this African American named Ahmaud Arbery. He was jogging. He usually jogs like around the neighborhood. I think he was an athlete. And so he was jogging one day. I believe something was happening where there was a case or something where someone stole something. Police were looking for him. And then there was, I think, there's two people who were I think the father was a former policeman and the son, they heard about the robbery. And so they were just outside looking for somebody and they thought that Ahmaud matched that description. So as he was just running, just minding his own business as he usually did, they drove and cut him off. And as they cut him off, they came out with guns drawn and then they started to shoot him down. And as he was trying to run away and fight for his life. So as he was fighting for his life, they shot him down and killed him. And this happened back, I think, February, but an arrest has been made. Like it just was made last week in May, like early May. So it's really sad to see how it wasn't really taken as seriously. It took this long for any like media to cover it. And the crazy thing is, it's very similar to the Trayvon Martin case. So with Trayvon Martin, he was just going to the corner store and then he was gunned down by someone as he was walking back because he just by the way how he looks. So I feel like it's just very similar, but hopefully we can get justice for Ahmaud. It's just a crazy situation, and especially right now the times that we're living in.
Here's my thing about situations like that. We got to stop taking actions in our own hands. And it's just like, if you're a police officer or, a law enforcement agent or anybody in higher position of authority, you got to understand, if you see somebody that fits a description, you got to understand that if you take action and the result of that action is somebody losing their life, you got to be a man and account for that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, there isn't situations where, lethal force isn't necessary, but at the same time, you got to understand that if you, as a police officer, take that oath, in order to do that, you got to understand your responsibilities. And it's just like, if your actions that you caused lose somebody to die and it wasn't the right situation, you got to fess up and say you was wrong. I think that's probably the worst part about all these situations like Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, all these situations is everybody keep trying to justify they wrong actions. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't perfect at the same time. If you did an action that wasn't solid, say you was wrong. You know what I mean? Accept your consequences. You know what I mean? That's the same thing, for us. If I walk down the block and I do something to somebody, at the end of the day, whether my situation was he fit the description or not, that wasn't the guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear about his background. I don't want to hear about if he had tattoos or his gang affiliation. That ain't the point. That ain't the convo we need to have. The convo we need to have is you did an action, and as a result, that was wrong. So now you got to pay for your consequences. I mean, I understand if you could sit up here and say that, he fit the description, he looked like this. At the same time, and I didn't really see the story or nothing like that, but he was a former officer, so that mean that you're not an officer right now. You know what I mean? So you just a regular everyday citizen. I mean, I understand you want to protect your community. I understand that. But at the same time, you took action as a result. Somebody died. I mean, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody, friend. And somebody got to answer for that. And at the same time, I'm looking more into the case after this convo. But like, if the news media want to get the perspective of he was just gang, that ain't the convo we need to have. If you're a position in law enforcement, you got to understand that if you take action and you feel like you justified in taking somebody's life, you got to answer for that on the other side. That's it. What you think, Will?
Yeah, I think that every loss of life is just a sad case. It's a loss of potential. The world is losing one less perspective. And like you said, it's not just a family member that you're losing, but you're losing somebody's friend, somebody's neighbor, just an acquaintance at work. Even like everybody that pops up in your life has an influence, even if you don't recognize it, even if it's something so minimal that it doesn't really change anything, but there's still a change. There's still an impact, you know. Uh, so I it's a sad story to hear about, and it's crazy how events like these just go swept under the rug in the meantime. um I mean, I do understand that the the COVID-19 virus is deadly as well, and I know that it kind of struck the U.S. all at once, and everybody was kind of freaking out. But it's and nonetheless, the case should have been given a little more attention. We at the Timpin Salone family send our thoughts, love, and prayers to the Arbery family and those affected by his tragic death. To the individuals who may have lost loved ones due to COVID-19, the cast and crew here at Timpin Salone send our love and much peace during these difficult times. Uh, if there's anything that we at Timpin Salone can do for you guys, you can email us at vagiatoechelon, wdl at gmail.com, or message us via Instagram at vagiato.echelon. Both links will be in the description below. So please feel free to reach out if you guys just want to talk. If you want to get something off your chest, I mean, we're here for you. We're a family. We appreciate all our fans, everybody that's been with us since the beginning, and we will be here till the end. I mean, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So please feel free to reach out to us. And as always, to the viewers abroad, and to all the fine broads, we will see you soon and have a Vaggiato day. Peace.